everyone, my name is Puri Aurlia Vega from the English Education Study Program. In this presentation, I will explain about planted questions and how this technique can be applied in the classroom. Have you ever been in a silent classroom where the teacher keeps explaining but students do not ask any questions? In this situation, students tend to be passive and the learning process becomes less effective because there is no interaction. Planted questions are questions that are prepared before the lesson and given to selected students. The students ask the question during the class as if they are spontaneous. In other words, the questions are planned, but they appear natural. This happens because many students feel shy or lack confidence to speak. Some of them also do not know what they should ask and they are afraid of making mistakes. As a result, the classroom becomes passive and interaction does not develop. To solve this problem, teachers can use a technique called planted questions. This strategy helps teachers create interaction in a structured way by preparing questions before the lesson. The purpose of using planted questions is to encourage students to participate actively. It also helps create an interactive classroom environment and improve students' understanding of the materials. Planted questions have several important characteristics. They are prepared before the lesson, asked by students, and delivered naturally. In addition, the questions are related to the topic, so the discussion remains focused. There are several steps to apply this technique. First, the teacher prepares the questions. Second, the teacher selects certain students. Third, the questions are shared directly before the lesson. During the class, students ask the questions and the teacher responds naturally. For example, a student may ask, "Miss, what is the difference between go and went?" These questions helps the teacher introduce grammar in a more natural and meaningful way. Okay, now we go to simulations. Before the lesson starts, the teacher prepares several questions related to the topic. Then, the teacher selects a few students and informs them about the question beforehand. This is done privately so other students do not know. The goal is to make interaction appear natural during the lesson. In the class situation, at the beginning of the lesson, the classroom is quiet and students are passive. The teacher starts explaining the materials, but there is no interaction yet. The teacher introduced basic vocabulary such as wake up, eat, and go to school. This helps students understand the topic of daily activities. Then, a student asks, "Miss, what does wake up mean?" This is actually a planted question that has been prepared before the lesson. However, it appears natural, so the interaction feels real. Another student asks, "How do we say saya makan pagi?" The teacher answers, "I have breakfast." This interaction helped increase student participation. Then, students asked a more complex question about the difference between eat and have breakfast. This question helps deepen students' understanding of the materials. After these interactions, the classroom becomes more active. Students are more confident and willing to participate in the lesson. The teacher then gives a short practice activity. Students repeat simple sentences such as, "I wake up at 6 a.m. and I go to school." This helps reinforce their understanding. From this implementation, we can see that planted question encourages participation, builds student confidence, and create natural interaction in the classroom. This strategy also works as a form of scaffolding to support student learning. In conclusion, planted questions are an effective teaching technique to improve classroom interaction and student engagement. This method is especially suitable for young learners because it helps reduce anxiety and build confidence. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Bye bye.